In the real world, much of our time is spent on the things we like to do, our interests and our hobbies. In the hierarchy of things that we try to get to most quickly, our interests and our hobbies are somewhere near the top, probably only below family and maybe one or two other things. Nyched strives to emulate these types of things by giving people niches to follow. And it operates in stark contrast to social media. Nyched is the next evolution of platforms, and it's something that I think everyone can relate to, something that they've been looking for, something to fill the gap between real-world interactions and social media and online interactions. Social media companies do not believe in a user-centric approach. They don't believe about putting controls in the hands of the users. They believe instead of putting barriers in between you and information and topics that you are interested in the form of admins and moderators and, most egregiously, algorithms. The alternative to this, of course, would be a user-centric approach, where a platform would put the user at the center of their focus to give them an experience that they are so overjoyed with that they wouldn't want to leave, that would not have barriers between them and the information that they want to get and their interests and topics of conversations that they want to have. A platform like this would put you in charge and in turn take away the power from any company to push their biases on you. This is a better type of relationship between a tech company and its user base because it gives the user the ability to give feedback in the form of the way they interact with the app, instead of being led down a path that they might not want to go down. Nyched is different from traditional social media platforms because it focuses on a different following mechanism. You can still follow individuals and follow businesses and that type of thing, but it puts an extra layer in there in the form of niches to facilitate customization and filtering. Niches are curated topics and groups, and if you think about it, this is how we work in the real world. We interact with the things that we love to do, those interests and hobbies that we like to do, and we place ourselves in physical situations where we can do those things. Whether that be at a shop that centers around one of those interests entirely, or a group that focuses on it out in the real world, we try and spend our time doing the things that we love. It's because of niches that we are able to filter and block and follow a different type of thing inside of a platform, which allows us to customize our feed even more. You could have a friend that you love dearly, but you don't like that they play a certain video game and you don't want to see posts about that if they post it all the time. Or maybe you don't want to see a friend or family member posting about their kids all the time, but you still want to see their posts about their business or something along those lines. This also provides a unique space for new creators to be discovered because they can post into the topic that their videos or their blog posts or their podcast is about. And it gives you the ability to find people who are operating inside of your niche. Whenever you make a post on Nyched, you put at least one niche onto the post. This gives you the ability to filter and block and follow certain types of topics so that you have the customization that you need and want over your feed. There's plenty of situations that we're in where we're talking to a friend or a loved one, and there's topics that we just don't talk about with them because we know we disagree. Or there's things that we haven't discovered quite yet. Things you follow, you see. Things you block, you don't. If you follow someone who posts into a niche that you've blocked, you won't see that. If you don't follow someone who posts in a niche that you follow, you do see that. It's pretty simple, and it's how we organize things in the real world. If we're interested in cycling, we go for bike rides with people who are interested in cycling, and we might not find out till it's ski season that they're also skiers. I've put myself in a position where you are the determiner of if Nyched is successful or if it's not. Frankly, if I'm wrong, I don't want it to be around, wasting space somewhere on the internet where only a handful of people use it. But what it comes down to is you adopting a couple of differences between Nyched and traditional social media platforms. The first would be the curated niches. Those are curated by the company to limit how wide it gets, so it doesn't get muddied with anybody creating any old type of topic or bucket that things can go into. These would be more widely desired areas of conversation. Then whenever you post, it's going to be required to put one of these niches onto the post. So if that doesn't happen, you don't get the customization that you want and the filtering and the uniqueness that you would be able to have, because you aren't able to then filter out other people's posts. So it's really important that you're accurate in what you're putting on each of your posts. Finally, one of the considerations that I've thought about is in the future, there needs to be a way that anyone can tag anybody's post with, say, a missing topic that maybe the original user, the content creator, didn't think about, they overlooked. It really comes down to you adopting the whole idea of posting a post into a niche. And if you think about it, we do this in the real world. We spend time on one topic at a time in a conversation, or we spend time on usually one hobby at a time when we're actually doing it in the real world. It's a common practice that we're already familiar with, but we haven't seen it in the online world yet. Because of this change in behavior, it's going to do a handful of great things. I know you've heard me say it before, but it's going to put the power first and foremost back into your hands to control what you see and when you see it. You'll be able to effectively find what you're looking for and the topics that you want. You won't have to search anymore because you told the program already what you want to see. And this means that you will have less consumption of media because it'll be more readily available to you. You won't have to go down a rabbit hole of doom scrolling to finally get that dopamine hit of whatever you might have been looking for. Even in the instances where you don't know what you were looking for, you'll have a curated feed that shows you things that you are deeply interested in. This is going to be an intensely user-driven experience because there's no algorithms or gatekeepers getting in the way of you and your data. So you will have full control over what you see. And it's going to be a desirable experience for you, which means there's going to be higher user engagement, which means you're going to have better conversations. You're not going to have the typical shallow interactions that you do on traditional social media platforms because you curated the feed and the interactions that you are having. My hope is that eventually more types of platforms like this crop up, maybe in specific topics or niches that are more niche than Nyched is in general. But my hope is that people adopt this idea, that they like it. They like the idea of being in control, and that they learn that they deserve to be in control over their data, their information, and what they see. Adding unique topics in the form of niches to a platform provides the way for you to have customization, for you to truly have a say about what information gets to you and what doesn't, to eliminate gatekeepers and algorithms between you and the information that's out there online, to allow you to have the power. That's my goal. That's my focus. It's always been on you because I was disgusted with what social media was doing. I was disgusted with the lack of functionality there. And I think it's time for that to go away. I don't think it's important anymore. I think that there should be alternatives out there. And that's exactly what Nyched is. Nyched is the world's first human interaction platform, and it is totally within your control. To learn more, go to beta.nyched.com. If you like this video, give it a like. If you have an idea about this topic, please comment down below. And if you want to see more, stay tuned because the next video is coming up right now.